Good evening, you're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. As many as 10 Chikungunya related deaths have now taken place from Delhi. But the state government remains in a blame mode when asked tough questions about it. The Lieutenant-Governor, who actually should have been here as well, finally came back from the United States today and chaired an emergency meeting. While the Health Secretary, who was on leave that was cleared by the LG, cut his leave short and came back to work. Arvind Kejriwal does have a point when he says that the LG is in control because the Delhi High Court recently ruled that the LG was essentially Delhi's boss. But that doesn't mean that Kejriwal and his government should abdicate. And instead of answering questions, the AAP has been abusing the media instead.
Delhi Minister Kapil Mishra and BJP MP Manoj Tiwari leading the fogging charge to get rid of killer mosquitoes. But has the photo op come too late? The total number of chikungunya-related deaths have gone up, with Apollo Hospital reporting today that there were 5 deaths over the last 3 weeks. But doctors also point out that the patients have had other underlying medical problems which compromise their immunity, like diabetes. Suddenly, sensing some urgency, the Lieutenant-Governor, who was away in the US, chaired an emergency meeting with the Delhi government. The Health Secretary, who was on leave till the 16th, rushed back to work.
There is no need to get panic. Whatever facilities you need from our side, we are ready to give and we will be working together.
But the Delhi government refuses to call it a health crisis, blaming the BJP-run MCD and even private hospitals.
जो scientifically proven है, अब चिकनगुनिया की वजह से normally death नहीं होती है. पूरे देश में भी 5 ही हैं, दिल्ली में भी 5 हैं, और उसमें से 4 deaths एक ही अस्पताल में हो रही हैं, तो उसको देखने की जरूरत है.
आप अगर कुछ कर सकते हैं, तो झूठ सच बोलने की बजाय जो आपकी ज्ञात जिम्मेदारियां हैं, जो आपके ज्ञात कर्तव्य हैं, जो दायित्व हैं, उनका पालन करें.
निगम ने अपनी गाड़ियां चलाई हैं, निगम ने अपने यहाँ टेस्ट फ्री किए हैं चिकनगुनिया के, निगम फॉगिंग करा रहा है. 6 लोग आपके पूरी तरह से दिल्ली से बाहर हैं, काम कुछ हो नहीं रहा. 11 लेटर आपको केंद्र सरकार ने दिए, ना आपने कोई टास्क फोर्स बनाई.
Finally, a sense of urgency being shown by the Delhi government as well as the centre to the alarming number of chikungunya and dengue cases. But even as health officials get together to chalk out a way to beat these killer mosquitoes, the state government maintains that this is not an outbreak. In New Delhi, Tanima Biswas for NDTV.
Joining us on the program tonight, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson and senior leader Ashish Khaitan. Sambit Patra joins us from the BJP. Sabha Naqvi here in the studio with us, and Sunil Alag joins us tonight from Mumbai. Ashish, to you first, why has this discourse degenerated to a point, you've been a journalist yourself, that every time the AAP is now being asked some tough questions on the health situation in Delhi, these have turned into personal attacks against journalists. Why is that?
No, first of all, Aam Aadmi Party does not believe in personal attacks, particularly against journalists, if they are doing their job, and they are doing their job with utmost objectivity and honesty. And in this instance also, which is in the context of chikungunya and dengue epidemic in Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party has not attacked any journalist personally. There have been a few instances, like the instance where a journalist threw his cell phone at the minister who was holding a press conference, and I think minister threw it back. I think that is the instance. But Nidhi, if you look at the larger context of
but Ashish, I'll interrupt you there, because there is a colleague of mine on another TV channel who questioned the preparedness of the state government on chikungunya and Delhi, and was called, the Delhi chief minister called him Mr Modi's spokesperson. You have another senior journalist who again raised questions on Delhi's preparedness, and then all kinds of abuse and question marks were raised on his integrity again by the chief minister of Delhi. I mean, the question is that does the dignity of the office of the chief minister not get lowered by attacking the media instead of answering the questions?
See, there are 2 sides of the story. One side of the story is, Nidhi, what you are narrating. The other side of the story is that sections of the media, instead of reporting facts with objectivity in their full context and comprehensively, they have been waging a proxy war against people in power. And they have been targeting Aam Aadmi Party in most cases very unfairly. So that is also the other side of the story which needs to be told. It's not the case of Aam Aadmi Party that the entire media has lost its moorings of objectivity and morals. But there are certain sections, and you know them, who are overtly and at times covertly, have been acting at the behest of the powers that be.
But
and that is
Ashish,
extremely unfortunate, and that should also be debated.
No, but Ashish, the point also is that journalists have a job to ask questions to the governments in power.
I
and
completely
often
agree with you.
we see BJP trolls, for instance, on Twitter, that then start attacking people who ask tough questions about the Prime Minister and the government. And you have the Chief Minister of Delhi now getting into this very personal battle with journalists. Is that becoming of his office? That is the question. And the people of Delhi don't care about a fight between Arvind Kejriwal, the LG and journalists. They care about what's happening with chikungunya and dengue. I'm saying that in his office, in his capacity as CM, does it become his post?
No, I think everybody in this, in the given circumstances, whether it's the media or the elected representatives, should act with utmost restraint. And journalists and the media too have a responsibility of not lowering down the public discourse. That's all what I am saying. We also, as an ex-journalist, I would say that journalists also have a responsibility towards the society and towards the standards of public discourse that need to be maintained.
Well, Ashish, we also can't get
offense at this Twitter journalism. One second, Nidhi.
Journalists can't be labelled
This
for
Twitter
asking
journalism.
a question. If people ask tough questions, we can't be labelled as pro-Modi, anti-Modi, pro-Congress.
They should not be.
Yeah, no, and I want to ask.
They should not be labelled.
Yeah, but
can I just add one thing, Nidhi? There is a problem with this Twitter journalism. If you want to, attack or sum up a given situation in just 140 characters, without giving the full context and backdrop, then it is misleading in nature. And I think senior journalists should also reflect whether this Twitter journalism is okay for seasoned journalists.
Sabha wants to come in on that. The question is of
journalists.
name calling. It's been reduced to name calling.
Ashish, the problem is, I take your point and I partly agree with you, but then your leader is also attacking people on Twitter, and I think that brings down the dignity of the office. So you can't be sanctimonious and apply one rule to yourself and your party, and you have to be open. You talk about Twitter journalism, a lot of your party statements seem to emerge from a tweet, and then you take positions. So that is fact. I'm not hardly mixing it up. But the problem here is, I'm not saying that media is perfect, media is as imperfect as anything else, but the problem here is, Ashish, you are doing the same thing that BJP also does that. They accuse journalists day in and day out. They have an army of trolls who catch you. Sambit Patra in shows asks me silly things like, have you eaten samosa of Aam Aadmi Party? Whereas I'd like to tell him, for 20 years I've eaten samosa, kachori and jalebi of BJP in their briefings. So they all do that. Now, Sambit in good humor, you ask questions like that. Now you, by doing that kind of thing, you are actually doing the same kind of,
But Sambit, it is something that's happening across party lines. You had General VK Singh very famously calling journalists prostitutes. The Prime Minister used the word bazaru about the media, and that came from the leader of the country, no less. Has the discourse come to this now? Now look at the way Arvind Kejriwal is, attacking journalists at a personal level, and the BJP, its own leaders, ministers, even the Prime Minister have gone to attack the press.
No, first and foremost, as far as this issue of chikungunya, dengue and the Twitter war that is going on is concerned, I believe two words are extremely important. One is sensitivity and the other is dignity. Where sensitivity in the sense, as you rightly pointed out, the people of Delhi are least concerned as to what is happening in the Twitter. When one is suffering from fever, when one is suffering from joint pain, when the platelet counts are going down, people don't look into the Twitter for solace. They really look into the policy modalities of what the policies are so that they can be helped. So naturally, be it a senior journalist, be it an ordinary journalist, or be it just an Aam Aadmi, anyone has the right to just tweet a question. The question may be directed to the Chief Minister, may not be directed to the Chief Minister, but the question has to be answered with some amount of sensitivity and dignity. If a question is asked as to why all the ministers are absent and absconding, I believe either you could have avoided it or you could have given a reason as to these are the reasons as to why they are not present, rather than calling them dalals and agents, because that takes the whole lot of discourse
But the
into
ministers
a place
of the government of
which is
India have
absolutely
called us
insensitive.
prostitutes. Every day I am called a prostitute on the internet. Is that justified?
I'll tell
The
you.
PM called us Bazaru.
Two things.
So I am saying, Sambit, that
I'll
it's
tell you.
very. I mean, we're criticizing the AAP today for lowering the discourse, but hasn't it also happened with the BJP? And the moment you ask a question that is even mildly critical of the government or the Prime Minister, you are hurled with abuse. Your family is hurled with abuse online.
Absolutely.
See, I believe though we are debating the Aam Aadmi Party, but again in good humor I would say that tangentially and obliquely all the anger and venom is towards the Bharatiya Janata Party.
See,
So
there you
I would
go.
take that in good
There you
humor
go. So
and
you
answer all
again
your
ascribed a
questions.
motive because
No,
you didn't hear all the questions I asked Ashish
look.
before this about Arvind Kejriwal
Yes,
lowering
yes,
the
yes,
dignity
yes.
of
Don't,
the
I'm
office.
answering that. I'm not running
So-
away.
So the moment I asked you about the
question, let me
BJP,
answer
then
that.
there's a motive.
No. No, not at all. Did I say that? I told it's in a good humor. No, the answer is, look, there is a difference between what you call a Twitter troll, because this is a world, the social media is a world in which we don't have a control. Anyone and everyone can participate in the social media. To call people who answer you in a different way, which is unpleasant, should not be seen as a BJP is answering you. Well, yes, when Arvind
VK Singh
Kejriwal
is
as a
not a
chief
troll.
minister
He's
of
a
Delhi
minister.
calls you Dalal,
He doesn't have to
I'll
call us a
answer that. I
prostitute.
will answer that.
Yeah.
Nidhi, you gave some time to Ashish. You have to be patient with me as well. I'll answer that portion as well. I'll not run away. All I was saying is there is a difference first between the normal participants of the social media and a chief minister calling you Dalal. Secondly, well, yes, when Mr. VK Singh, General VK Singh took up this issue of prostitute, I was the one who conducted the press conference the very next day, and you could see, rewind the tapes and see what was the stand of the party. So here you have a party, the Aam Aadmi Party, saying that, well, yes, you are Dalal if you are a Dalal, and here we are who are taking a clear stand. So there is a difference.
Well, is there a difference, Sunil Alag? When you look at the way the discourse has become today, has everything become so badly, divided? Have we become so badly divided that anybody who asks a question of any government, gets labeled in some way or the other? Like she said, like Sabha said, she's asked if, she's had an aap ka samosa. You just saw what happened, in the last 2 minutes. What's happened to the discourse? What's happened to just asking tough questions and getting an answer?
The way I look at it is the media has every right to ask any question of any party. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind on that. Now, obviously, like human beings, I mean, there are some media personnel, and I'm not referring to any, do have their own biases, whereas you want a completely unbiased media, like you want an unbiased politician. It doesn't happen like that. So, assuming that you will have a personal bias, politicians are supposed to be more thick-skinned, more sensitive, and they should answer the question. By hurling abuses, they actually confirm that they are no longer in a position to answer. It doesn't matter whether it's BJP or AAP or anyone.
Agreed.
Go all over the world and you will see even in President of America will have a whole press conference, and he already knows that there are some people who are marked who will ask him difficult questions because they are not in favor of him, and he's ready for that. He doesn't abuse them to say, why have you come? He doesn't only answer questions if you see in any interview, whether it's the Prime Minister of London. So I think this hurling abuses as to the way you can answer the questions with facts. The people are listening. They are intelligent. They will know who's lying, who's not lying, who's doing. You are no longer judging anyone. Neither the media is supposed to judge you, nor is the politician supposed to judge the media. You ask the question. Let the viewer, the one who's watching television or on Twitter, I get trolled on so many things in life. You ignore it because there will be somebody who will do it. But that is the fear and the power of social media today which we live with. Don't think that you can do away with it. The more you attack it, the worse it gets for you. That's my advice to all political parties, all political people. Answer with facts. The people who are listening are intelligent, and they will respond accordingly.